Hello,
Hi.
everybody, and to welcome to the Requiem of William Ravelowe, Prophecy and Sacrifice, episode 14.
It's been a minute.
Yes, yeah, it has been a minute.
Been a
Uh,
minute.
for those of you who uh for those of you who don't remember what happened, sorry, my brain is a little scrambled. Kevin, why don't you fill them in?
Ventrue vampire William Ravelowe of the Dragolescu bloodline has discovered some time ago that his sire, Josephine, one of the original children of young Dragolescu, the leader of the bloodline, has done a great deal of nasty, deep domination into his mind, creating false memories. He does not recall things as they happened, and in fact, some things that he has done that he cannot conceive himself doing, he lives with the consequence of today. Knowing that he cannot trust himself or anybody else with this particular problem, he has decided to find somebody who knows how to get into the mind and teach him the ways of uh, what is it? The consuming serpent, the mind of the
The mind
Hydra
of the devouring worm?
worm. Yes, mind of the devouring worm and the inscrutable Hydra, and various exercises that will let him build a mental palace and clear it out of any of the domination effects and deep conditioning that he has endured. As such, it is he would have done this alone, but his friends, namely his child, Rose, his best friend partner, Nux, and Nux's wife slash William's romantic interest slash
Nox's child.
Nux's child. Um, Help me out,
Juliet.
Juliet. So we got two Ventrue and two Gangrel chilling around the world. The globe-trotting adventures have thus far taken them from New Orleans to London to Poland, into lost Nazi vampire experimental labs and gold trains, to did we go to Germany, or is that a place we're going?
You have not gone to Germany.
Right. But we have ended up finally, after crashing parties and completing puzzles and all kinds of stuff,
Running
we
the gauntlet.
running the gauntlet, and other Ashwood Abbey type stuff. We have ended up on a submarine somewhere where an individual called the Keeper is trying to help me go through my memories to find what is true and what is not, and to fight the construct that exists in my mind that is reinforcing these negative behaviors and possibly even taking control of me at times to enforce domination when I absolutely won't. Uh, as for those memories, do you want to pick up from there?
Uh, sure. So you've broken through a few memories already. Um, one of the memories you was like the first night, your last night as human.
Mhm.
Um, where you had a girlfriend in New Orleans who is now the prince. Well, she calls herself the queen of the city. Pearl. But you had been meeting with her several times while you were human, and you didn't remember that at all, and you actually were with her the night that Josephine turned you. So you remembered that. You remembered that when there was like this virus running around New Orleans. Um Sarah Cobbler, who was basically in charge of your Requiem, like you and your old coteries Requiem. Um, that her sister Mezzo, who is more well, they're both Morbus, but her sister Mezzo helped you find the cure to the disease, but that got erased from your memory. And she also told you Sarah Cobbler isn't as bad as she seems.
Which is hard for me to believe, but then again, how can I believe anything I remember?
Well, that was one of your memories that was real but got changed.
Hmm.
Um, then you discovered in your memory that Howard, like you've always suspected, but you didn't know for sure, but you have a distinct memory now that Howard Epps is your brother. He was a
Blood brother,
serial
not
killer. Yeah,
not human brother.
blood brother, not yeah, no, kindred brother, not like
That's yeah.
yeah,
We
not
have the same sire, not the
yes,
same
yes,
mom.
same sire. Uh, and Howard Epps was a serial killer running around New Orleans. Then you started to have memories about Juliet, that you actually knew her prior to coming to London only a few months ago, that you knew her a long time ago. And that she was trying to have you, she was asking for your help in getting um some like notes and stuff that Josephine had kept from World War II. That like she told you about Josephine and how she was part of the Blue Hand Massacre and all
Mhm.
about Dragolescu and how he wasn't really a good dude and how Josephine is a really bad person. And you were like, yeah, I kind of already got that feeling, so that's not hard for me to believe. And you Juliet asked you if you could get some notes from the World War II era of what Josephine was working on during that time, which coincidentally was when she was also torturing and studying Nux and Juliet.
Which is, again, totally effed.
Yep. And then you also had some other memories because like the construct doesn't want you to figure out what's wrong and what's not wrong, so it's pushing you around, and so you fall into some other memories. So you actually got to see when Nux, you got to see some of Nux getting tortured.
Yeah, got to experience it too.
Yeah, and see Nux getting turned into a kindred, and uh, yep, saw
Yeah.
Juliet when she was human breaking into a building that Josephine was owned or was a part of at least.
Hmm.
Yep. So
So we are right now smack dab in the middle of a whole bunch of reclaimant memories. Was there a cliffhanger we left off on?
yes, so the last memory that you were in was back in New Orleans. At one point, you had Sarah Cobbler and Josephine were both back in New Orleans together. Both of them are banned from there, so they're not supposed to be there. And you, as a hound, found out they were there. You tracked them down into the basement of a hospital, and there was a confrontation where you were holding a gun on them. You didn't shoot them then, and none of those memories were tainted. But what was interesting about this experience is that you were able to still relive the memory, but then, like, sort of step outside of your memory self and observe. So you got to notice things that you didn't notice while you were in the moment of that memory because you were so angry and like on the brink of like just ripping Josephine's head off. Um
I wonder if Josephine put this stuff into me. I wonder if I can sort of switch to that external view when somebody else, like if there are other people who are linked into this, are involved, because they create kind of a stereo effective experience that might be explored. Maybe people who I have blood sympathy with, or maybe just perceptions through her, or I don't know.
you mean like in other memories, or like if you could
But
do that for other memories?
maybe I'm trying to figure out if there's a reason some memories do that and others don't.
Um, okay.
It's not mission critical, but it is a curiosity.
Yep. So that's where you had been left off.
Okay.
Um, so you left off with the gun pointing at Josephine and her basically taunting you to shoot her, but you didn't. You didn't then. When you tried now, it didn't work because you can't rewrite a fixed memory,
Right.
or a correct memory. You didn't have to fix that one.
Doctor
Then
Who, but it makes more sense.
the world starts to spin and goes like black with a bunch of colors, and you kind of feel like suddenly you're floating in like a weird jello-y liquid. And while you're floating, um, you get like wisps of scents that like things you remember, old books, or um, like the scent that Artemis sometimes smells like a wet dog when she gets in the rain, or um, you get the whiff of like the weird lightning smell that sometimes Soros used to give off. The scent
No.
of Pearl's perfume, the feel of the blanket on your childhood bed, and like you can hear like random things just flying all around you, and all these scents and all these sensations are just starting to like whip around you and consume you. And through it, you can make out Nux and Juliet, sort of. You hear a broken conversation. You hear Nux go, "I don't think that's a smart idea." And then you hear Juliet um, I'm pretty sure that she has some pieces to the puzzle and we can't leave here without finding them. And then right after that, you are dropped hard into a cemetery in New Orleans.
Well, this is familiar.
You are standing outside a very familiar crypt. It's a crypt that is actually, when you go into it, there's a nightclub at the bottom.
Ah.
You find yourself standing there with Trevor, Callie, and Josu. Nux is there, but he's like, the ghosty. I am here to guide you through your memories.
Yeah.
Juliet is not there, and neither is Rose. But you know why Rose isn't here, because this is the memory of going into this nightclub to find Theo, because you have all realized that Rose didn't die and that she's running around New Orleans as what you guys thought might be a kindred.
She
And
was
this
a
was,
revenant,
yeah,
if I
she was a
remember
rev.
that
Yeah,
right.
she was a revenant. She was, well, that's what you remember. That's what you remember. She was a revenant.
That that and $8 will get me a coffee.
Uh,
It's, if my memories were worth crap, I wouldn't be doing this. Uh,
yes, that's what you remember. You remember that she was a revenant. But at this time, you weren't sure what she was yet, because, like, all you knew is that Trevor thought he saw her, and Callie was all like, "You can't. She's dead, Trevor. Just stop it." You know. And then she's like, one of you thought he might have seen her ghost because Trevor can see ghosts, and Trevor's like, "No, this was not a ghost." Um, but I forget exactly what it was that like triggered you guys to actually go look for her. But there were like people being attacked on the street and things like that, and I'm pretty sure it was Artemis who was like, "Can you please look into this nonsense?" I'm
smell
busy.
a scent of roses, a touch of rose. That would have been a good name for that.
Touch of Rose.
Okay. So,
But yeah, so you eventually tracked her down to being here.
and we were also looking for Theo
Correct.
because he was an ink dealer, right?
Uh, I think he facilitated like drugs being dealt, but he didn't deal them himself.
See, the great thing
Um,
about this is I can ask these questions, and it's not that I don't remember, it's that William doesn't.
yeah, no, so Theo was kind of like you never really got a good grasp on who he was or what his deal was, but like one conversation you did have with him because you thought he was dealing the drugs. He didn't, but he didn't stop people from doing it in his places of business because he said that, you can't have good without a little bit of bad and it's about keeping a balance.
I was like, balance nothing. Humanity's humanity. It's a slippery ass slope.
um but no, the reason that you came here was because you tracked Rose and I forgot who it was, but someone told you that they thought they saw her with this guy.
Okay. Could you describe the club for me?
Yes. So when you open up the doors, all that's there are stone steps going down, down, down. And so when you descend the steps, the walls are made of like earth and it smells like moldy dirt as you descend, and then you get to a metal door that you have to knock a specific code on, which you do. And the door opens up with a big, muscular, burly bouncer guy who's got tattoos on his face and his arms, sunglasses, and he just steps aside. The inside is bigger than you would think. It's a decent sized club slash bar. There's like a place where someone's playing music. There's a dance floor. There are some tables around. There's a bar. Picture, you remember in Forever Night, the Raven?
It's been a minute, but yes.
The Raven.
It's
That like, and there's like that reddish tint to the light.
goth as fuck.
Yep, gothy as fuck. There's a lot of vampires around. You can see people doing different sorts of drugs, the ink, the black age, the red coke. Um, and there's a back room that you guys went to, and in this back room, there's Theo sitting on a couch with Rose sitting next to him, looking uncomfortable. This room has more of like a dark bluish tint to it. His couch is like a leather couch. There is a bed off in the corner. Uh, there are candles, but they're not fire, they're bulbs um, to light the room. And you do see like a shrine to a demon in another corner. It's the same shrine that he had in his bar.
The goat or whatever.
Yeah, the bar is called the Goat.
Dude, the one we didn't go to in New Orleans.
Yeah, that we didn't go to in real life.
um, can I make an occult roll, like to figure what demon that is? I've got intelligence 4, occult 4, so we're at 8. Uh, I don't know if superstition counts as a specialization for this, but I have 9 again either way.
Okay, so you said 4 and 4?
Yes, 8 with 9 again.
Forgot I have little pieces of paper for like organizing who goes when in a fight in my dice bag. So every time I dump it out, all these papers go flying everywhere.
Scrolls go flying.
Yep.
Y'all crazy wizard.
Okay. Um. So this isn't a demon that you're familiar with.
Mhm.
Um. Like you can tell that you've seen shrines to demons before, and this is fairly standard. Like it's got a statue that is like the demon with all sorts of whatever's all around. Um, but you also notice that like it has a hint of like voodoo. So there's like a cigar and some rum, uh, chicken feathers.
Well, that suggests it's a Loa shrine and not a demon thing.
Well, so it's a combination of both, is what you can tell. You can't tell who it's to. Like you think it could be a Loa and not a demon, but um you're not sure.
Given what I remember about Baron
Samiti.
Samedi being held captive by that Meljin, is it possible that this is a shrine to that, or like the idea of that? Like this is a shrine to the puppet that was holding Samedi's place?
No, it's not anything like that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, yeah. So you walked in with Trevor, Callie, and Josu. Okay, before you walked in, you told Trevor to stay with the group, do not wander.
Which reminds me, the reason I would say that is this place populated by a lot of vampires, or what are the club goers? Ghouls, vampires,
It's a
humans?
it's a mix, but like given what you had already known about Theo, you don't you don't trust him and you don't not trust him. You're not sure about him. Like as far as you can tell, he like the only bad thing he does is turn a blind eye to other people doing bad things.
According to the introductory adventure for Requiem that they published, that in itself is a humanity. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, all right. So, but Theo is here.
Yes. So yes, Theo is here.
Any
Uh
any static?
oh yes.
Any?
So Theo, let me describe Theo. I know you know what he looks like, but nobody else does. So Theo is a light uh brownish colored skin, dark black hair that's like shoulder length and sort of curly. He likes to wear black thicker strapped t-shirts with like super tight black jeans and boots.
Goth as
Um
fuck.
huh?
Goth as fuck. This episode should
He's
just be
got
called
this.
Goth as fuck.
Should should be. All of them should be. Um he does have a tattoo that you've noticed once before. I believe it was like on the inside of his left wrist of it's a handprint with a triangle, I think.
Belial's Brood.
Yeah, it's a Belial's Brood
Yep.
sect tattoo. It's not the Belial's Brood. All of their different groups have different uh symbols, but that's for one of them.
Yep.
And so that's what you noticed. Um, and you knew that before. So that's what he looks like, and we all know what Rose looks like, so we don't need to describe her. She's also goth as fuck.
She was looking all like
Oh, okay. Well, that was Kevin's usual 45-minute drop off. We will wait for him to come back. In the meantime, I'll read some of the comments that I missed.
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45-minute drop off.
All right. So Rose was looking all bloody and feral, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's all bloody and feral. She was somewhat calmer. I mean, she's not freaking out. She's on the couch sitting, but she does look like she's slightly uncomfortable. And so Theo, pardon my accent. It's been a while since we've been in New Orleans. Uh, um, so Theo is sitting. He leans back on the couch and he goes, Well, what can I do for you?
Well, first off, we'd like to know that our friend here is okay.
She looks okay, yeah?
Rose?
Um, she just like she looks up at you and then like just kind of like looks back down the way she did before.
Rose, do you want to get out of here?
If she wants to go, she can go.
I'm sorry, I don't think we've met.
My name is Dio.
I'm William.
I know.
Ah.
You're
So
one
I
of the
imagine.
you're
Good.
one of Donovan's great hounds.
Oh, great. Well, I'll take that. So I suppose you know that your little establishment here is dealing in illicit products?
That depends on your point of view.
The point of view of the welfare of the kindred and kind in this city?
And you are the one who can determine what the welfare of the kindred in this city are.
I know that ink has a tendency to cause people to become possessed by hostile spirits. I know Black H is just the worst version. Yeah.
They are all allowed to do what they want to do. It is their life, is it not?
Do they know what it's doing to them?
They are given fair warning. It's one of my rules.
Mhm. And can they take this narcotic out of this location?
They're not supposed to.
Can they leave while they're under its influence?
Depends on how influenced.
Hmm. And you can tell. Quick shout out to Patrick Goodman. You got it. You figured it out.
Did I miss something?
In the chat,
Oh.
Ink is an Orpheus callback. Totally got me. Or if you like, Shadowrun's tempo, which I think totally got its inspiration from that. So, um,
But he just smiled at you.
look, my primary interest is in helping a friend.
So take her.
Rose,
She gets up and just like walks over to Callie.
I assume we're not going to find any trouble here?
No. You're free to go.
Well, I imagine we'll be talking again in the future.
Most likely.
Withdraw with Rose in tow.
Okay. So you leave the club. Nobody stops you. You're able to just go. No problem.
No static, no weirdness.
Nope.
Weird. How did we end up here?
Well, you've been being bounced around from people's memories and random memories that have no static.
True. Huh?
Interesting. There's one question you're not asking.
Shall I roll something to figure what that would be?
Do you
William
have
might know.
common sense?
Huh?
Do you have common sense?
Of course I do. I'm good. I'm far, far, far from perfect. Uh, yes, wits plus composure. So I have
8, right?
4 plus 3, 7.
7. Nothing's coming to mind.
Well, balls. Is there any sense of do I feel any ghosts around here? It's a cemetery and I'm a Dragolescu.
uh no, cuz I mean you didn't then. You kind of took Rose and you all took her back to the Place d'Armes where Nux was waiting for you. And then you guys talked to Rose and that's when you figured out, oh, the Revenant, not a kindred.
Mhm. And that's when we sort of got to rehabilitating her, making sure that Donovan would put in the good word for us to
Right.
potentially
Yeah.
replace her.
So what happened was like you told her that she could stay a revenant if she wanted, but that it would be really hard. And you explained like one, she would be considered like a second class citizen in the kindred community. And two, like, they don't retain blood, so whenever they wake up, they bleed it all out and they need to make sure they have a supply, like ready when they wake up, and just
Feeding would be another.
how
Yeah.
much harder it would be to be a revenant, and she would be better off being kindred, and that you guys could petition the prince and Donovan to let somebody make her whole. And so Nux offered first to do it. He was really hesitant about it. He didn't want to. Like this whole situation broke him up. Like you've never seen him actually show emotion until then.
And then Rose went with me anyway.
Right. Then you offered as well. You said you could pick me as well.
And
And
then
then
she went with it,
you let her think about it and she decided to choose you.
which
Um
I'm still
which
flabbergasted about, but I'll take it.
well, her reasoning I felt I mean, well, she didn't actually say her reasoning, but it was hinted at the fact that because she had feelings for Nux, he had turned her down. She was still stung by it all. She didn't want to deal with any of that because
I
she
always
was already
figured
dealing with so much.
I always figured that it had something to do with Ventrue may have a sense of detachment, but Gangrel are more likely to frenzy, and that lack of control would be scary. Okay.
That
That was
wasn't her ultimate reason.
that's William going and being a Ventrue and assuming.
You know what happens when you assume.
Yeah, asses, you, me, all the asses.
Anyway, well, since you've already relived that memory, uh, we'll say that, you guys took her back to the Place d'Armes. You gave her the option like we said you did, and then you guys were going to let her rest as you close the door to the room so that she can rest and think about it.
Right. I'm still
Um
keeping like a very vigilant eye open for static inconsistencies, weirdness.
yep. So when you left the hotel room and shut the door, you found yourself standing in Louis Armstrong Park.
Again,
Uh yeah, this time you're human, and out of nowhere Josephine appears before you. And
memory
she says,
Josephine or construct Josephine?
memory.
Okay.
And she says, I've been waiting for you for a long time, the promised one. And then you feel her bite down,
Ugh,
yeah, his first it's like, ow, ow, ow. And then it's like, oh, oh, oh.
bad touch.
Yeah, as you feel your blood draining away, your eyes close and they open. And when they open, you find yourself laying in a room that you recognize as the back room of Dr. Zola's shop. Dr. Zola, for those who are not familiar with the New Orleans game, is a gangrel uh kindred who is Circle of the Crone. He's evil
Bokor
doctor.
Hudun.
Yeah, he's a Bokor, and I mean, this guy is evil. The book says, and this is what the book says, that he feeds off
Content
of.
warning, content
Yeah.
warning.
Oh, right. Yeah.
This is effed up.
Maybe we shouldn't say it. I don't want to trigger anybody.
He feeds on some things that would cost you humanity every time. How this guy isn't a Draugr is straight up beyond me.
Yes. But Callie inadvertently pissed him off. And to punish her, he kidnapped Rose. And you are laying in the room, one of his, like the back room of his, like, office. And you notice that you're not you.
That's
You're
yep.
somehow Rose.
Oh shit.
And you can feel yourself slipping away and dying. I mean, you feel the pain, and like every inch of your body hurts. And you see Dr. Zola standing over you, and you hear a very familiar voice saying, "Don't worry, little one. This isn't the end." And you feel a sudden sharp across your throat. And
Jeez.
everything fades to black. And you are now running down a hallway. Ugh, sorry,
How are you coughing and I'm the one smoking?
because I inhaled saliva.
That'll do it. Okay, I'm running down a hallway.
You're running down a hallway. Um,
Am I me?
well, yeah, but you're like a ghost you, because you can tell this is not your memory. You recognize this hallway. It's the hallway that had all the like cells and stuff where Nux and Juliet were being kept prisoner.
World War II.
So Rose is following behind you as like a ghost ghost in the memory. You see running ahead of you is Nux, and you can tell it's him living a memory, and Juliet, and it should be her living a memory, but she looks like all of the people that are part of the memory
So
that are not
everyone
present.
okay.
And then in front of them is Heinrich von Colt. You may remember him from the very first episode of this lovely campaign. He's the one who had you and Nux go into your memories, and that's when they found out that it's going to be a little more complicated
Yeah,
because of the Josephine thing.
the guy I got that skull for.
No, you got that for someone who is part of the Loyalists of Thule.
Right. Okay.
That was no, not Milo. Maybe it was Milo. I don't remember his name offhand, but
Von
it's not the same. Von Colt is a kindred.
Yeah, I met him in the bookstore. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You met him at your induction ceremony.
Right.
Or no, you didn't meet him he wasn't there because he's not part of that Ordo group.
I was gonna
But he
say
is
that's a journey.
Ordo. But he wasn't part of that group. But Juliet and Nux knew him, and now you know why. He is running ahead. Um, people get in the way, they fight them, shove them off. As you're running, you notice there's a woman running behind Juliet and Nux who had gotten shot in the leg, so she's limping and she falls to the ground. Nux turns around to grab her to help her up, and Von Kalt says, "Oh, jeez, German." Apologize.
Driving way too
Yeah,
fast.
driving. We have to leave her. We can't ruin the mission. And uh, as he pulls Nux away from the girl, and they leave her on the floor. A door opens, and you find yourself standing in the foyer of Josephine's home.
The one in
Um,
England?
yep. You're standing there with a piece of artwork in a frame. And Josephine comes into the foyer and says, "Oh, very good. You got the picture that I asked you to steal.
And
Now
one?
don't forget the rest of this little exercise. As being an employee of the museum, I want you to observe what having something so valuable stolen does to the humans there."
Well, as chasing dragon tails go, this doesn't seem too objectionable.
Um, Klaus, her servant man, takes the picture, and as he's taking it, you start to see some static.
Uh, all right. If I'm just gonna test this out, I just hand it over without a problem.
While as you're handing it over, everything starts to get really staticky. Even him turning around and walking away with the picture is all staticky.
All right, I'm gonna try to rewind that.
Oh, Nux and Rose are here, by the way, as the mentors. Still no Juliet.
Okay, I'm gonna try to rewind that, and this time I try to hold on to the painting.
Okay, you try to hold on to the painting, but Klaus tries to jerk it away from you, and then it resets back to when you hand him the painting.
All right. So static means we're going the right way.
Yeah, static means that there is something that needs to be fixed, or something that you're gonna have to try to remember.
Hmm. Can I make a perception check?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
7, 8.
Uh, 8 with 8 again.
Okay. So you notice that there is like static over the whole scene, but where it's super staticky is oddly on the floor when you hand over the painting.
All right. Look down. Blood, dirt, a
Are you
body.
trying to push your way through the static?
Yeah.
Um, can I have a resolve plus composure?
7.
Okay. So you're trying really hard to push through this static. You keep rewinding yourself back and back to when you give him the painting and trying to push through the static, looking on the floor. It takes you a few tries to do it, but you finally do break through the static. And as the static breaks away, you hand him the painting, and as you hand him the painting, a bunch of old papers fall out the back. He puts the painting down really quickly and starts gathering them up, and Josephine kind of kicks him and says, "You idiot." Um, he's getting them really quickly, and Josephine steps in front of you so quickly that the only thing you can see is you see a paper that says something about something called Project Reawakening, and then you see something that says Dragolescu Prophecy. And then
Look up at her.
Juliet, or Josephine, sorry, huh?
Look up at her. So I wasn't
Um,
really stealing a painting.
she just looks at you, and suddenly you can feel your brain starting to go all slack.
Yeah.
Um, and the scene shatters into a bunch of tiny little pieces, and you find yourself standing in the New Orleans cemetery again. You're standing in front of one of the walls that have like the caskets and stuff put in them. And when you look at the grave, you see on the um headstone, I guess. I don't know what you call them when they're in the wall, but it says Rose Hawthorne.
Mausoleum? Plaque?
Black. Yeah, it says Rose Hawthorne. And you hear the bell ringing, and then suddenly you hear the crack of the stone as she breaks out, jumps to the ground, looks around. You and Nux are there, but you're like, you know, the ghosty spirits.
Yeah.
And she takes off down the street. And you're following her as she runs wild through the streets of New Orleans. You see her run into like a crowd of like a group of people who all break away except for one who she reigns because she's hungry. And then you hear a familiar voice, Trevor, go, "Rose?" You see her turn and then turn the other way and take off. You continue to follow her through the streets as she runs around confused and scared and hungry. And you see her run into Theo. But what's interesting is when she runs into Theo, for a second, you think you see static, but through her eyes.
Can I fight for her memories too?
You can help her fight for her memories.
Yeah. 7.
When that happens, she turns around and looks at both of you. What the hell is going on?
You got your memory messed with too.
How? I never even met Josephine.
That you remember.
Wait, that's a good point.
I mean, we're all dealing with gaslight memories.
All right, well, how do I fix this one?
You see the static?
Yeah.
That's where things have been altered. That's the difference between what you remember and what actually happened. The overlay that's been put over what you actually experienced.
Okay. So do you like hold her hand or anything to try to help her push through?
Yeah.
Okay. So you grab her hand and you can now see the static through her eyes and you both try to push through the static. As you're pushing through, um Theo suddenly changes into Josephine. And the static breaks and you let go of her hand and you can see that it's Josephine that she ran into, and Josephine just gently brushes her hand down her cheek and says, "Don't worry, little one. You can be whole again. You just need to pick the help of a kindred. And I know the perfect person to help you. You already know who he is. You're going to choose William Ravelowe to fix you." And then you hear a familiar voice from behind her saying, "I think you better leave." When you all turn around, it's Theo. And Josephine says, "Still trying to meddle where you don't belong? I see you're trying to change people's memories and force them to be your little puppets. Why don't you leave this poor girl alone? Hasn't she been through enough because of you?" Hmm. She looks at Rose. "See you soon, dear," and like bops her on the nose condescendingly and then just turns around and walks away. Theo walks up to her, puts like a blanket around her, and he says, "Come on." I'll take you somewhere safe. And then the memory fades to black. And you find yourself sitting in a bedroom that's all sorts of purple and black and gothiness. And you see a little Rose sitting on her bed with her mom and dad as they hand her a present. And she opens up to find the book, The House of the Seven Gables. And her dad says, one of our great grandfathers wrote this book. So it's very important to our family. As she opens the book, a warm, shiny, bright light comes out of it that consumes all of you, and you are brought back to Josephine's home.
Can I take 1 second to scan another memory really quick?
Which memory?
When I was considering whether or not I should offer the embrace to Rose.
You want to try to push yourself into that memory?
Yeah, I can bookmark this and come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know if me being willing to offer that was my choice.
Sure. Um. Okay, I need your resolve plus composure.
7.
Okay. Do you want to try to get help to push back into a memory?
I reach my hands out
Because
back to the other two and see if they're willing to lend me their strength.
yep, they grab your hand because there is something that's like it's
Fighting.
preventing you, and it's not the Josephine construct.
Huh. Can I try to vector in on what's getting in the way?
Ah!
That information would be that information would be valuable on its own.
I'm trying to get the dice. Okay. They like to run away, even with my little dice bowl. Okay, so they are able to help you push through the memory. So do you want to observe this memory now, or do you want to try and figure out what's stopping you?
Can I only pick one?
No, you can do both. Oh, which one do you want to do first?
First I'll observe the memory, then I want to identify what was trying to stop me if it wasn't the construct.
Okay, so first you want to break through the memory.
Yeah.
Okay, so you find yourself back in the Place d'Armes. Actually, you find yourself back in the Place d'Armes. Rose is sitting in a chair, holding her book. Nux is pacing back and forth, smoking a cigarette. Callie is standing near Rose, trying to give her some sort of peace. But we all know what she's been through has been super traumatic. Josu is also trying to help calm Rose down, and you were leaning up against a wall near like where the sink and bathroom area is. So, if you don't remember what you said, you basically explained to her what a revenant was. Um, and that, like she can stay it, she can. Um, so do you want to play that through? Keep in mind, you did not offer in your memory, from what you remember, you did not offer to change her until after Nux did.
Yeah.
Because you could see he was like sort of hesitant about it.
Mm-hmm. I had an irresistible urge to just offer what help I could, but at the same time, I was aware that I'm not ready to be a vampire dad. And I tried to think like, I mean, now I'm thinking, God, I hope this really means that I'm a good person and I just did it because I'm trying to make things better, but can I tell anymore?
Do you want to play the scene and see if you see anything?
Uh yeah.
Okay.
So we just explained it. Nux is
So after you explain it and you say someone can help make you a full kindred, Rose just doesn't look at anybody and she keeps playing with her book and she says, "Well, who would do it?" Nux pauses. "I'll do it."
and he's clearly a bit distraught about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the dude has already smoked like a pack since you found Rose.
Look, if you have to be kindred, this is a unique opportunity for you. Theoretically, you have a choice none of us had. You don't usually get to pick your sire. So, if you want to, we could find you another kindred who might be willing to complete your embrace. One of the clan that you like and a sire that you're willing to learn under. We could find you a Deva or a Maquette, a Nosferatu if that's what you want. I suppose if you wanted to be a Ventrue, I could do it.
Josu, hey, it is not all bad being Nosferatu.
They're not all as pretty as you. But, I mean, I think the important thing is that you know who your sire is and what they intend for you.
Well, who else would be even willing?
Well, I'm owed a few favors, so I know I could probably secure permission to do it. I imagine I could ask some favors and owe a little bit, and we could get Martinet or maybe.
Allie is looking at you like,
I'm not reading your lips well, I'm sorry.
I wasn't lip moving anything. She's looking at you like, dude, say you'll offer.
I could do it. And I won't make you do anything objectionable, and I won't make you jump through any hoops. You just have to learn how to keep being a good person even when you're this. And, you know, I'm always pursuing occult stuff and witchcraft. I mean, if you have to spend eternity doing something, you might as well do what you did when you're alive, plus all these relative advantages like time. Saying
What about magic?
there's a magic to being kindred,
No, I
and
mean, can I still.
I think there's a way.
There's definitely a way.
I don't know if you could learn it as a revenant, but I think you could as a kindred. It'd be harder, but you have all
So
the time in the world
Rose
to figure it
puts the
out.
book down and looks right at you, which you know didn't happen in your memory. Seriously, Dad, why are we doing this? Why are we reliving my traumas?
I'm sorry. I needed to know if it was my choice or something Josephine made me do.
Okay, well, are you seeing any static?
Things are a little different than I remember, but not that different. Am I feeling a sense of compulsion to offer, or was it Callie suggesting it and
You
bit?
actually suggested it, but I was trying to get you to do it without being the GM being like, you're supposed to suggest it.
That's fine.
So if you
Well,
want to rewrite it and say that
no,
it
no,
went
no,
the way it originally went, that's fine.
no. This is great. This is great.
I just didn't
Okay.
want to be like Kevin.
The question is whether Joe, because clearly Josephine has had a hand in getting Rose to pursue me as a completionist sire. But I wanted to know if she had covered that from both angles, or if she just knows me that well and played me as a person.
um, no, you don't. You don't see any static.
Interesting note
There's
too.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to indicate that this memory has been altered in any way.
That's interesting. If I misremember something, it doesn't feel like static. That's specifically a dominate effect. Okay, I've learned something valuable. All right. Um, so what was trying to push back on this? If it wasn't the construct, if it wasn't a dominate effect, what was it that was trying to stop me?
Let's do a
Wits plus.
wits plus. Uh, wits. Let's just do wits plus composure.
Okay, 7. If it's mental and social, it's always 7.
Um, you can't seem to figure it out. Like, I mean, you're trying really hard, but like you can't feel exactly what it is that's trying to steer you around now in memories.
Okay.
Um, like you feel a weird sense that it's familiar.
Does it feel kind of like it's not a wall, but it's like going against the flow?
Um, it's not even necessarily because there's not necessarily a flow here. Like you can control what memories you go into if you want, but otherwise you're just going to be pushed to randomness. Um, and a lot of the times you've seen that the Josephine construct has been pushing you away from certain things and been trying to stop you when you do go into a memory that was changed.
Ironically, leading me exactly where I need to go to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
so
Well, if this all turns out well, I'll be able to explore my own memory palace at my leisure. So this is more a curiosity than a clue.
yeah, so
All right.
the thing that you're feeling that wasn't letting you go, you feel like more like it's a guiding hand more than like a push or a pull.
Okay.
like a gentle guiding hand.
Could it be the dragon who's like guiding us through this stuff?
It could be. It's so funny to me that you have not
What?
that you haven't asked the question. I thought you
I You know me.
would. I don't want to give it away. I want you to figure it out on your own.
A clue?
I've given you a few clues,
Damn it. In the
especially in the very beginning, one of the first things that I said. All right, I'll do another common sense roll.
7.
You just have no common sense. Like, sorry.
Hey, if anybody in the chat is seeing something I'm not, feel free to kick in.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Uh,
Well, so do you want to go back to where we bookmarked you?
yes, I will resume the flow.
Oh shit, where was it? Okay, we just saw Rose got her book, right? Okay.
That is correct. And then I was in Josephine's foyer.
Yes.
Okay, it's not just me. The chat's with me. Thank you, Eric.
Oh, somebody's missing.
I trust Juliet to know what she's doing.
All right.
I take for granted their competence. I'm going to reach back and make sure where everybody is.
So Nux and Rose are with you. Juliet's missing. You don't have a string to her like before when they were all trying to battle the construct.
Yeah. I'm going to look to the others. Where's Juliet?
Rose is like, no.
Look at Nux.
Oh fuck. Okay, I can't lie to you, man. All right. She thinks if she controls the flow, she might be able to find the answers we're looking for a lot faster than letting this construct push us around. She also thought that Rose might have some stuff in her head. So she
I
was
would say
right.
I would say that it's important that I'm the one who does this and learns this and earns this, but I can't argue she was absolutely right about Rose.
She thinks we're running out of time.
Crap. Forgot there's a time limit. All right.
There's a time limit on more than one thing, mate.
Thank you, Juliet.
Well, she seems to be getting us closer to where we need to be, so
Ain't that the truth? All right. Well, we're here now. Let's do this.
all right. Okay, so it was your first night. Um. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting all turned around in my notes. I didn't write them in order.
I'm
Um.
gonna turn around in my memories.
Okay, so it was your first night in Josephine's home. You've already fixed some of these. The first time that you went into your memories with Nux. Um. So you the way you remembered it was you got there, you went to your room, you stayed in your room, but that's not actually what happened. Like you walked around and you noticed that Klaus was being tormented by a little child ghost
And
who was just
Klaus,
having
like playing pranks. Yeah.
yeah, playing pranks. And then you were in the library and you saw Klaus kick a maid down.
Yep. And
Um
she's super scared of everyone.
mhm. And you noticed that when you tried to get her to talk and she has no tongue. Um this is where you're left off because this was where it stopped before. And Nux had said, "Oh shit, I know her." And now you looking at her, she's the girl when you were in Nux's escape memory who had been shot in the leg and Von Colt said they needed to leave behind.
Okay.
So while you're trying to talk with her, you still see some more static.
Mm. Everything I want to say is related to whether she's, everything I want to say to her is based on things I wouldn't have known contextually at the time. So,
Plus, she's just a memory. It's not like you're talking to the real person.
yeah, but if there's static, there's something they didn't want me to know.
There's not necessarily static looking at her. There is static more so when you look away from her.
Okay, then I keep looking at her.
There's more static when you look away from her.
Okay, look away from her and just look around. Try to pin down where the static gets its thickest.
You feel Rose grab your hand and Nux. And after they grab your hand, you're able to work yourself through the static. So when you like went to help her and she kind of was like, please just, stay away, stay away. You looked up and you see the ghost of the small boy that was tormenting Klaus standing like in like so like you're in like the foyer and like back there's like the hallway that goes to the rest of the house and he's kind of standing behind where the stairs go up and he's like, come here, come here.
Follow after him.
He starts running down the hallway, giggling and laughing, knocking over plants, making pictures tilt, and he leads you into and then he goes through a door. And when you open the door to go through it, it's just a closet. And quick, close the door.
Close the door and I'll pop on obfuscate while I'm at it.
Okay. You're new here,
Yeah.
but I like you. You seem nice.
Thank you. I tried to
Unlike
be.
unlike Mr. Big Boots. Stomp, 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 stomp.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about him either.
Are you William?
You know me?
I've heard her talking about you.
What does she say?
She's very careful what she says because she knows that I like to listen. But something about how she's got plans for you and that she's using you for something. But
Do you
don't
know
trust her.
well, that much I've picked up on? Do you have any idea what it is she wants to use me for? What her plan is?
No, I keep trying to find out, but she's crafty.
Well, I don't want you to put yourself at any risk to find out, but if you do, can you let me know?
I can try, but the last time I tried, she hurt me.
We don't want that. Is there
Oh, Kevin. Looks like Josephine hurt him too.
ah 45 minutes.
Say this at
All right.
least Josephine hurt you too.
Should be the last one until the end of the show.
Show, yep.
So, um, is there any way that I can help you?
I heard that there's this light I kind of want to go into it, but I can never find it.
Here's a question. Why do you stay?
She makes me.
If she wasn't making you, do you think you could get away? Would you want to get away? Go in the light? Does she have something of yours that you really value? Something that mattered a lot to you?
She has my yo-yo.
Do you know where she keeps it? Can you say?
I don't know where she keeps it. I told you she's very secretive.
All right. I want to try something. It's going to make you a little bit weaker for a minute, but it might help me find it, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to reach out and draw a point of ectoplasm off him.
Okay.
So that'll diminish him just a little.
Yep. He yawns.
I'm sorry. I'm going to try to focus through this plasm and try to find a link to his fetter.
Okay. What am I rolling?
I'd probably go wits occult.
So 7?
4 and 4 ghosts is a +2, so 10 with 9 again. I am in my element. I built William to do this.
Okay. So, while you're focusing on the ectoplasm, trying to find this tether, you get a flash of shelves, wooden shelves in a room that you can see there are a few boxes and jars with names on them and objects in them. And you can sense that it's close. It's in this house. You're just not sure exactly where.
Is there any way I can focus, spend some more plasma or something, create kind of a tether I can follow, a little golden ghost trail? I'll spend a point of willpower on this.
You want to re-roll?
Yeah, since that's what you're recommending.
No. I was just asking what do you because I that's the only one I remember you can do with
You can re-roll or you can get a 3 extra dice.
Okay. Do you want to do which one do you want to do?
Let's go 3 extra dice.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna re-roll all together and do the 3 again. Can you please behave? Jeez.
You got to blow on them and say nice things.
They respond to abuse.
Uh,
I just yelled at them and now they're working.
ah.
Okay. Um okay. So you can feel like a pull, like a magnet from like the ectoplasm pulling you somewhere.
All right. Obfuscate still up and follow the trail.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm going to find your yo-yo.
Can I come?
Uh, I'll tell you what. I'd love if you did, but I want you to watch my back. And if somebody starts coming toward us, I want you to go make a distraction, okay?
Okay, but that lady, she doesn't really care about distractions.
Hmm. Is there anything she would care about that you could mess with?
Yeah, but I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Well, if we do this, we can get you out of here.
Okay.
Hey, do you wait? This was my first night. This wasn't the painting night. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The painting's not there yet. All right. So it starts pulling you down the hall. And it takes you to the back of the staircase, which looks like it's just a wall. But when you start like knocking on it, to like see if there's any hollow, it is hollow. So you try to like push it, and when you push it, it like springs back, and you can open it. There is nobody around.
Slip in, close it behind me, making sure there's no lock or latch that'll keep me in.
Nope.
Okay.
You head down the creaky old wooden stairs into a musty old basement filled with boxes and old furniture. Like some of this stuff looks like it was from previous owners, and Josephine just threw it all down here. The
Um, I'm running my fingers over things, letting my auspex go, seeing if I can feel any traces of memories as I go.
um so some of the boxes you get the trace of like the family that used to live here, so you do see the little boy like playing outside, running around with his siblings. Some of the boxes you get the faint feeling of like the help that used to live here. Um, and then like as you continue to walk, feeling the boxes while being pulled by the magnet, you get glimpses of like Josephine and some guy you've never seen before, but you can take a wild guess that it's probably Dragolescu. Um,
Any impression of what they talked about, or just glimpses?
just glimpses.
Okay.
And then you walk. Anything you could get an impression of, she wouldn't keep in the basement. You would either destroy it or lock it away somewhere much safer. Um, so as you keep walking through the basement, like when you came down, it was like this big room, and you like walk around to the back wall, and there's another door, and when you open it, it's there's a closet that has like a desk, and then there are shelves that have all the belongings. And you can see a jar labeled Timothy, and it has a yo-yo.
Open the jar, pull out the yo-yo.
Hmm.
Am I getting any spirits touch off of this?
Um, you mean like visions?
Yeah.
Yep.
Psychometry.
Yep. So you see him opening up that present on Christmas Day. You see him playing with it. You see him like hitting his sisters with it and being a silly older brother. Um, and then you see him playing with it, not paying attention, and a car hitting him, and when he falls, the yo-yo falls out of his hand.
As a dad, that one hits me.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. Do I feel does is there a connection between this and Josephine?
Um, there are no memories of her tied to it, but you can sense like her being.
I'm trying to figure if she has a connection to it in a centiphagia kind of way. Like, can she sense I've got it, and if I break her connection to it, is she gonna feel it, or does she have a connection and she just has this, for
Um,
leverage?
you don't really sense that she's like connected to it.
Okay, Timmy,
Yes,
is this it?
that's my yo-yo.
Kneel down next to him. Try to offer it to him.
He holds it, and then he like starts to play with it again. Um,
Any
you
stirrings in the
Yeah, you hear a woman's voice calling, Timmy, Timmy. He turns around and he's like, That's my mom.
You ready to go?
Yeah. Good luck with the evil witch lady. He starts running off, and it looks like he went through a wall, but he didn't. And the yo yo falls to the floor.
Pick up the yo-yo, put it back in the jar. I'm going to try to commit as much of the contents of this place into memory so that if I can come back here and release the rest of them. But I feel like if I stage a mass jailbreak, there's going to be hell to pay.
Yes, this
So
would be.
as I meet ghosts, I will figure it out. Okay.
Okay. As you've made your mental note, um, and you turn around to leave, and suddenly the floor falls from beneath you.
What?
And you fall down, 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 and you find yourself standing in the yard that the sheriff of New Orleans, Donovan, likes to have his fancy wine parties. Um, and you walk in. You remember this as the very first one that you went to, and you were the only hound invited.
Dressed to the nines, right?
Yep. And you see Miss Opal lounging on one of the chairs. Miss Opal, for those who don't know, is a very large southern woman, Nosferatu vampire, whose Nosferatu quality is that she smells god awful.
Well,
She's one of the primogen of the city.
approach her.
Oh,
So
William, it's such a pleasure to see you.
I take her hand and kiss it, not inhaling because I'm undead.
Oh, oh, you flatter, dear boy, you flatter.
I owe you an apology. I've been so caught up in the business of the city and maintaining it. I haven't had any time to visit you or return that favor I owe you.
Yes, you naughty boy.
I'm sorry. Truly.
Well, it's impressive that you've been invited to this tasting. Donovan doesn't usually invite his hounds.
That's either a very, very good thing or a very, very, very bad thing.
Um, your phone starts buzzing with a text. Bzz. It's from Nux, and it's like, meet me out front.
And once again, duty calls. Let's make some time soon.
Yes, come and see me sometime, William.
I'll do my very best.
All
Step
right,
outside.
yep, head out to the front, and Nux is standing by his car. So, you want to go to a real party?
Just got invited to a thing.
Yeah, come on, this one's more fun. He puts his arm around you, puts you in his car, and starts driving off down to the seedier sides of New Orleans.
Texting Donovan. Hound business. Sorry. Loved what I saw. Can't wait for the next one. Send.
You got a text back saying, Is Nux taking you to his hound party?
Is that a thing?
It's his way of protesting not being invited to mine.
I apologize. I had no idea. I'll make it to the next one. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Don't get into trouble. Okay, so he speeds through the city of New Orleans down to a seedier area where you see the rest of the hounds. Minho, uh, Why can't I remember all the hounds? Is Martinet was one of a hound, I think.
Miho, Martinet, there was the dude in the flannel.
Yeah, I don't remember their names. Well, anyway, they're all there. And Nux pulls up, spins the car around so it slams by the curve where they are, turns it up, gets out. And then he's like, well, ladies and gentlemen, first one to the top is the winner. And they all start scaling to climb the building, the high-rise building in front of them.
I recall that I was using super jumps to get the edge on them with my might.
Yep.
Like everybody was climbing, and I was just like, ka-dunk, ka-dunk, ka-dunk.
Yep. I believe you got there first, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, you did. And then Nux. Nice job.
Could have been at a wine party.
Why you want to be at a wine party? You can't even drink the wine. Well, drink it and enjoy it anyway.
I can try.
Oh, come on. That's a stuffy old party. Don't you want to be here with us?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Well, come on. Off to the next part of fun. He takes you to a warehouse where they were having a party. Where there's like a big, party. People are doing drugs, not like black ink, but normal human drugs.
As we're
Drinking,
going,
drugs, partying. Huh?
I'm sticking my memory self out of my my construct self out of my memory self at Nux and going, are we just enjoying this, or is there static here?
I don't see any static, do you?
Not yet.
No, not yet, but we all know what comes next.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. Just then, all of your phones start buzzing that there is a crazed vampire running around the French Quarter. And that the hounds need to get to it ASAP.
Is that text from Donovan?
Yep.
No need to notify him. Step on it.
All right, so you and Nux break off, the rest of the group goes. When you and Nux start running towards the St. Louis Cathedral, um, Nux is slightly ahead of you, and as you're running, you pass by like a doorway, and then you feel static.
Look in the doorway.
Nux, as the your anchor turns around, and he's like, "What's going on?"
Look.
Uh, oh. Okay.
What are we seeing?
So you both start to push through the static, and it winds right back to where Nux started running a little bit past you, and when you pass the doorway, Josephine steps out in front of you. Um, and she says, "It's not in my nature to try to help you, but I really don't want you to die since I still need you. So, little hint. This kindred is not someone you've dealt with before. He's part of something called Belial's brood. And the only way to stop him, the only way to kill him, is to use the dagger he will have on him. Off you go." And she steps aside, and you continued to run forward.
Ball.
So you're running, running, running. Uh, you eventually chase him back, I think, to like a club or a bar, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, while you're fighting him, uh, it's weird because you feel like a kind of like itching in your brain. And then that's when, in your memory, you say, We've got to use the knife. And
That's
then
how I
that's
knew.
when, yep. And then that's when you take the knife and you stabbed him. And as you stab him, he kind of like lit a flame. And suddenly the flames consume the entire room, consume you and Nux. And you are suddenly, uh, as the fire dies away, you find yourself standing in the Hissel in Storyville with
Well,
Sam and Nux. Rose is there, but she's like her ghosty anchor self.
well, I didn't miss this.
You're in the Hissel, and Sam is trying to cure a corrupted spirit.
Do you want to describe what the Hissel in Storyville looked like for our viewers?
I feel like you would do a better job since you came up with it.
Uh, for those of you who don't play Werewolf, the Hissel is the spirit world, not the same as where ghosts occupy. Um, Hissel is actually a werewolf word. Everybody else just calls it the shadow. Um, the shadow is a reflection of whatever the emotions and memories, impressions and imprints are of that region. And Storyville is a portion of the Treme neighborhood of New Orleans, which is considered one of the most poverty stricken places in the US. Very full of crime, very bad economic situations. This particular area, Storyville, was once the home of, as far as I know, the only government sanctioned red light district.
Yep.
Bordellos, dancing halls, shooting galleries, you name it. It was a place that worked and didn't. And because this is Chronicles, it worked even worse. It is also where we discovered that Prince Vidal and Baron Symmetry of New Orleans teamed up to try to force a Loa to give them power. Vidal was getting old and losing his touchstones, and he wanted to stay young and vital as a vampire. And Cemetery wanted to take Samedi into himself and become godlike. It did not work out for either of them, and they sacrificed a lot of people, uh, including some perfectly innocent kindred. One who was actually like very noble. I would wager he was on his way to Golconda.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Sundown Sire.
yeah,
Leo the
and
Lionheart. I
yep,
forgot.
yeah, and he was like supposed to be like one of those rare kindred who's a genuine freaking monastic saint, just like a genuinely good person,
Yep.
transcending their own monstrous nature. And they slit his throat. I can't remember if they diablerized him. I think there were other kindred. There were definitely a bunch of humans, all slaughtered in the name of sacrifice. And doing bad things makes the shadow or the Hissel a worse place. This was an act of occult barbarity and horror. And when you do something bad enough, it can actually corrupt a place so badly that it punches a hole into a place no one can go and remain sane. This portal is known as a wound, and wounds lead to places which, as far as we can tell, are the epitomization of a sin, some kind of terrible, terrible intention. And this wound, because all the werewolves have been cast out, exiled, or pushed out of New Orleans, nobody thought to fix it. So it had been festering for how long? Like 100 years?
Yeah,
150, 200?
a long time.
Just festering
Way before Artemis and William's time.
and making things worse and worse and worse for the region.
Hmm.
The things that come out of that portal seek only to corrupt in the name of the Lord of that wound, a Mergin, kind of an evil god spirit, the epitomization of a wickedness. This particular one, I can't remember its name off the top of my head, but was the Lord of Hunger or Gluttony, which made sense for who committed the sin. Um, so the area would look like the twisted memories of Storyville as it once was, a rotted, decrepit kind of decaying elegance, the Baroque furnishings and wall moldings and furniture, all indicating a kind of excess, but all of it tinged red. Everything's spattered in gore. Things twist when you're not quite looking at them, as though everything is wrapped in subtle tentacles of meat and hunger. The whole place felt fetid and hot, the air thick and soupy and always reeking of fresh carrion. Uh, Everything looked slightly alive, and everything inspired hunger. That sound right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. So that's where you are with
Yay!
Nux and Sam and Anchor Rose. Because Sam brought you in here to try to teach you about the Hissel and try to
And
teach you what kindred can do.
in exceptional situations,
Yes.
effectively teaching us a coil.
Yep. He always taught you coils in his own way
Mhm.
without you even knowing it.
Technically, if you're using expanded third party rules, there are existing established coils for interacting with the spirit world, which are somewhat predatory and detritus to the environment. In our case, we used a discarded designer coil known as the Path of Divinity. So, yeah, because Sam is a little bit more wholesome as kindred go.
Yep.
So,
All right. So you are in the wound. With Sam, he's teaching you how to try to heal a corrupted spirit. And
shit.
he's like holding it in his hand and he's like gently like petting it. And he's like, you just have to give it some love.
Nux,
Yeah. Nux is just kind of like looking around. Yeah. What?
Nux, if we're here
Yeah.
and this is a place that Josephine might have messed with,
I don't see any static.
no, but we're here for a reason. If she read this, if she knows about this, then she might be able to learn the coil through me.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. Not remotely. All right, I'm definitely looking around for distortions.
You do not see any.
Okay?
Um, but at that moment, Artemis comes. Memory, Artemis, not real. She's not there. Uh, she comes in and she's like, "I've been looking everywhere for you two." And then you hear a loud roar of some monstrous rhinoceros thing somewhere out in the distance in the Hissel land of Storyville. And as it roars, the memory starts to tremble and fall apart until you find yourself standing in the library of Josephine's home. For your next lesson, I want you to sample different blood types, not like A, just not just A, B, whatever, you know, O, but also, different ethnicities. And I want you to see if you can tell any kind of differences. Understood?
Yes, but may I ask what the value of this lesson is?
I just want you to do it and then we can talk later. As she's turning around to leave, while you're looking at her leave, you see like out of the corner of your eye static by one of the bookcases.
Examine more closely.
So you're trying to push through and you're having a little bit of a problem, but Nux and Rose come over and help. And as you push through the static, you see that there is a woman standing by the bookcase, like an older woman wearing like a floral skirt and a nice button-down shirt with a pearl necklace. She's holding a martini glass and she's standing by the bookcase, like sipping her martini glass.
Human, kindred, ghoul,
Ghost.
ghost.
Um, you turn to make sure that Josephine has left and then walk over to her.
Evening, ma'am.
Well, how do you do?
You, stuck here often?
No, this isn't my usual haunt, but, somebody asked me to help you.
Somebody.
hmm I believe you know him as Timmy?
You know Timmy.
Oh, well, I did. I mean, he's gone now. He's finally crossed over, poor boy.
Yeah.
But before he did, he asked me to help, since I'm not a ghost that one is aware of,
Oh.
since I don't typically inhabit this house.
I imagine you'd avoid it given what she can do to you.
Well, she hasn't been able to catch me yet, and considering this is my last time visiting, I don't think she'll catch me.
Plans to cross over after this?
Nope, just not to come back here.
Fair enough.
I
Well, what
like
did
being a
Timmy.
ghost.
Far be it from me to stop you.
Anyway,
So, what did Timmy have in mind?
there are some papers he wanted you to find. Can you close the door? Actually, she just kind of nods at it and it gently shuts. Okay, she steps back and examines the bookcase. Can you please pull that red book for me? You pull it and the bookcase moves forward and then shifts over.
Awesome.
Which leads you to a door that has a code. I believe the code is 5923. When you open it, a green light pops, and then you can pull the handle and open up the door. You walk into a room that just has like a table and a chair, nothing else. She walks over to like the left side. The walls are made of like stones. Push that one. You push it, and it slides backwards and over. And as soon as you step through it, a room lights up, and it's not a very big room. It's like a square room, 5 feet on each side. But there's like file cabinets all along every wall. She walks over to a specific file cabinet, and she like goes like this, and the drawer opens. And then she like lifts out a file for you to see. Well, better get going. Good luck.
Thank you.
She walks through a wall and she's gone. The notes that you're looking through,
Well, this is a memory. I'll follow the flow.
yes. So the notes you're looking through, you see up scrawled on just like a piece of torn paper, a descendant. Oh, no, I can't read my hand. Ah, okay. A descendant will become the unliving embodiment of the world's quiet undead. And then you see something else scrawled on another piece of paper that says like um possible steps for chosen vessel, uh learn how to see ghosts, create a ghost, have to connect to the world unseen, bring someone back from the dead, and must be reincarnated, question mark. And then as you're flipping the page, you see like a notebook stuck in the file cabinet, and when you take it out, it's like one of those like scientific journals. On the cover it says Project Reawakening. And as you go to open it, you hear, well, someone's been snooping around, haven't they? And you turn around and you see Josephine, and that is where I'm going to end it for today.
Cheers, son. Oh, it is good to have you back. Goddamn.
I hope you like it.
I sure as hell did.
Sorry, I had some touching moments in there.
Don't be sorry. I love that. That is awesome. And apparently our viewership did too. It's the highest it's been in a minute.
I know, I saw that. I was like, damn, people are back.
I'm telling
Damn,
you,
Daniel.
when you run stuff, they care.
Oh,
I'm a better player than a GM, I think.
I don't think so.
Well,
I
you're
love my
sweet.
Artemis game.
Mm. Yeah, but it's a good cliffhanger. I'm going to let it hang for a minute.
Yep, let it hang. But anyway, so I've given you some clues there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I thought I was being obvious with the Juliet, where like you heard her voice saying like there's got to be some memories that she has to put the puzzle pieces together, and the fact that I said she wasn't there ever.
No, I was just like, she knows what she's doing. I trust her. It's I don't need to
Ooh.
ask that question. She doesn't seem to be in peril.
Oh, you trust
So,
her, do you?
no, we're all in peril, but not like specific, oh shit, we got to go save them.
Right.
We're all in the dungeons of my mind. That's dangerous enough. Anyway, well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and
Yes, thank you so much.
a considerable everybody it is.
Yep.
Um, great soundtrack this time, by the way. Really killer playlist. Really enjoyed that.
I use some oldies but goodies because I
Yeah.
like to keep a theme, you know? Like
Oh, I
with
hear
New
you.
Orleans, there's certain songs that I play cuz those are like my New Orleans theme.
I'm right there with you. So yeah, thank you so much to all of our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you will again in 2 weeks where I don't know, maybe we'll just skip right to the next William. I'm not sure.
Yep, we're kind of
Uh,
playing it fast and loose right now with our shows.
yeah, but
Um, so
2 Sundays from now,
there will be
you'll
a
see us
show.
doing something.
Either
Maybe,
yeah, it'll be either D&D or William.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, keep an eye open on all of our channels for other shows like Jerry at Twitch. If you want to see something, comment on our Facebook or what have you. We really, 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 really want your communication and your insight and your input because we do this to entertain you.
Yep.
Aside from that, we want to throw out a couple of shout outs and a couple of special thanks. Shout out to some of our allied friendly channels. PK Crash, Robert does some incredible game playthroughs. Devil's Luck Gaming, the crew over there, their costumes, we are envious. Patrick runs a hell of a game. And we want to throw a special thanks to one of the best fans, one of the best supporters, and one of the best friends the channel has ever had. Sean Dritz, you're the man. We love you. And I have not forgotten that I still owe you a musical rendition of Cotton Chicken Candy Nuggets to the tune of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're just trying to make it the best it can be, even years after the fact. Um, Aside from that, a big
Yeah.
thanks. Oh, go
Happy
ahead.
birthday to Sean. 'Cause
Happy
today is his
birthday.
birthday.
That's the point I was trying to
That's
get
the
to.
whole point.
I'm sorry. Happy damn birthday, man. You're the man, and we love you from across the pond. Mwah. I get all lost in everything. He's awesome, and there's a million
That's all.
stories about Sean.
I'm here to reel you back in.
Thank you. A special thanks to all of the artists who make this possible. Just everybody, we've got them all listed in the credits at the end. A special thank you to our fellow channel members. Erica, you run the show. We love you. Lindsay, you keep this whole thing together. I don't know how. It's a miracle. Ashley, thank you so much for running. Goodness knows I need some more of that in my life.
I'm so excited to run the rest of this campaign for you. I mean, it's not gonna be over yet, but like this third portion of it is gonna be over, and it's gonna be such a big cliffhanger, and I'm so excited to get you there. I've been waiting to get you there for 2 years now.
All right. Well, is there anything I'm forgetting?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, then thanks for joining us, everybody. We love you very much and we appreciate
Oh,
you being here.
Jerry Atwitch is on Tuesday, this Tuesday.
This Tuesday, Jerry Atwitch. Tune in for Crazy Old Biddies playing Star Wars now.
Yeah, we're playing Star Wars now.
That's going to be amazing.
Yes, it's gonna be character creation 1.2, part 2.
Part two.
Part dos.
Part the second.
Part the second, yes. Episode 2.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We love you very much. Keep wearing masks.
Get vaccinated.
Try not to go to a convention if you can help it. We support conventions, but it's too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. I want to go, but I'm not gonna
Too. Yep.
because it's the right thing to do. But support your local con if you can. Throw them some business somehow. Just try not to go. And if you must, don't ever take off that mask. Don't shake anybody's hand. People are gross and untrustworthy.
Elbow bump it. Elbow bump it.
Courtly
Anyway.
bows. 6 foot courtly bows.
There you go, with the foot out and everything. So you have
Yeah.
room for your arm span.
Big flourish, the whole thing. You have the
Uh.
space to do it. All right.
Anyway, thank you all for joining. I will see you on Tuesday as Edie. I mean, Edie will see you on Tuesday.
Good save.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks for either D&D or William. Who knows?